Hi, this is the screencast of course TDDD27 Advanced Web Programming. I am Jansi and my partner is Mohan. Our project is CashBox. It maintains personal finance management. The main aim of the project is to provide the end user to manage their personal finance accounts. Here shows the login page. The application supports Google, Yahoo, other OpenIDs. You can also log in through our database. We are using OpenID to log in into application. I am using my student account which internally uses Google OpenID. Page containing a drop down option box to select an account type. To see a transactions, an account type should be selected. To add transaction, click on Add Transaction button. This adds a new transaction to select to a selected account type. A transaction table that shows all the transactions of the selected account type. To add a new transaction, fill the fields as shown here by due date, what type of, whether it is expenses or income, and you can write comments here. And you can add here. So this adds a new transaction to the table as shown here. The transaction schedule contents can be edited by clicking on plus button as shown here. You'll get like this, and you can modify it. You can modify or you can delete it. If you want to modify a transaction table, you can modify it here, like, and this you can modify it like 1000, and if you click modify, you will get modify it as rent and 1000. If you want to delete some particular transaction, you can click on the plus icon and you can delete it by clicking delete. It will delete it from the transaction table. You can also see the net amount on the right corner of the page, and a toggle button to switch between settings and the transaction page here. This is a settings page that you can switch, like settings and transactions. By clicking on settings button, the page opens, which contains a tab widget showing 3 tabs: categories, accounts and user details. By clicking on categories tab, you can see 3 buttons: add, edit and delete. In new category can be added as follows: with name, shopping, and what type it is, and expense. So done. Now you can see the category is added below. If you want to edit a category, select it first and then click on edit button. Now you can see shoppings and you can edit it, and now you can see the changes done. Similarly, you can delete a category. Similarly, you can add more number of account types by clicking on accounts tab. Then you can see which contains 3 tabs: add, edit and delete, which contains name, comments and currency symbol. Now here you can add some name with joint account, comments as sharing account, and currency symbol you can give as a CK, and done. You can see it is added as shown below here. To edit the account, first select the account and click on edit button. Then you can edit changes and make done. Then you can see the account changed. Similarly, you can delete the account. And if you go to third tab, user details, here you can see the information about the user, and you can change the user settings if you want. Now I am going to show the implementation part of our application. To develop this application, we used codeigniter PHP framework, which is based on MVC concept. Here MVC means model view controller. First about model. Model is a data, it's a server side implementation. Here we used MySQL database, where you can see here, and used PHP Active Record ORM framework to organize the data. To install Active Records, we used Sparks Manager. Next about Vue. Vue is a client-side implementation. The web page is developed using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, jQuery UI and Ajax. Next about the controller. The controller is PHP, which controls the data and view. Next we can go to the OpenID concept. You can see some implementation code for an OpenID. To use an OpenID, we used a third-party library called Light OpenID. This here shows the code of an OpenID. This code shows the implementation of an OpenID on client side. We used form to submit the data. To manage this data, we used JavaScript. These two lines will be used. Suppose if you click on Google in login page, then the data goes back to controller and the following code shows how the OpenID is processed. It has some initial checks, then it checks the OpenID validate function and opens chosen URL to login and redirects to dashboard view, which is the viewing view containing the transaction table here. This transaction table that we used for populating our data is implemented using a third-party jQuery UI data table. This jQuery data table is included in JS folder here in views, dashboard and content.php. This is the initialization skeleton of our table, and the data is populated by using jQuery functions dynamically. Here shows the function of a populate transaction table. The populate table function populates the data. The data table function is a Ajax based, and you can see the columns and the code here shows how the data is filled in each row. The categories are fetched from the database and passed to view by the controller. This transaction function in controller manages the transaction data. This code is used to populate the data into the table. The first line fetches all the account data from the database. This is formatted into JSON file and passed to the client. The next lines of code is used to add, edit and delete the transactions from the table. When you when you clicked on add cat, the data is sent to the controller and it checks the data is not empty and inserted into the database by the following command. This command is a PHP add to record command. Similarly, for editing and deleting of data, PHP add to record commands are used. This one and this one. This is the main core implementation of our work. Similarly, the same procedure is followed to add, edit and delete for categories and accounts. We use the same procedure to develop the setting view. Thanks for watching.